Hello, welcome to our presentation. Today, the topic that we're going to develop is the impact in the tourist industry in Tunisia country. Tunisia is a country located in North Africa where tourism has been a sector that over the year has presented great impact, both positive and negative, covering three important areas which are economical, sociocultural, and environmental. To study in the economic area, some of the impact of tourism are employment. Tourist development in Tunisia has been responsible for a continuous increase in indirectly and directly employment that has been reflected over the year. For example, in 2014, the World Travel and Tourism Council calculated that the tourists support a 13.9% of total employment. Incomes. In 2018, the arrival of tourists to Tunisia increased by 17%, which at the same time favored to the economy, presenting a 46% increment in income. Economic depends on tourism. Although Tunisia has a diversified economy, the tourist sector has become the main source of income and foreign exchange of the Tunisian economy, despite of some obstacles in recent years that were produced by security problems and political instability. Those are some economical tourism impacts in Tunisia. To continue with the presentation, some sociocultural impacts are going to be explained.
Secondly, the most relevant impacts in the social cultural area about tourism are expression of languages. Tunisian, Arabic, and Berber are native languages spoken in Tunisia, but a significant portion of the population also can speak French to the demand of the tourism industry for business purposes, and in some schools they have already implemented the teaching of this language. Preservation of cultural heritage. Tunisia has many sites with a rich and varied history that why is UNESCO has designed some of them as World Heritage Sites for their cultural and historic significance, design mosques and ancient mausoleums. Terrorists. Many Tunisians are happy with European mass tourism, but a few, especially those who are marginalized by the industry, feel resentful toward the industry promoting an ideological opposition to tourism through terrorist attacks. Examples of them are the Bardo Museum and the Coastal Tourism Resort of Susin in 2015. Finally, some of the most important environmental impacts are going to be explained.
As a final point, some environmental impacts caused by the tourism industry in Tunisia are coastal deterioration or erosion. This is a reduction of beaches, sometimes induced by the human activity, as in the case of Tunisia by mass tourism and the construction of infrastructures in the coastal. A scarcity of water sources. In countries where tourism is one of the pillars of their development, the consumption of natural resources tends to exceed to satisfy the demands of tourists, generating an imbalance and producing a scarcity for the local people. Biodiversity conservation. Tunisia has many different animals, plants, and other forms of wildlife. That's why through national parks, the tourism industry contributes to the conservation of natural areas and their biodiversity. Environmental protection. According to WWF, the Worldwide Fund for Nature, Tunisia has established a sustainable tourism charter in an effort to improve the environment, implementing the discontinuation of disposable plastic cups and cutlery in hotels. All these economic, sociocultural, and environmental impacts of tourism in Tunisia have contributed in a positive way to its development, as well as they have generated negative impacts for the country.